Welcome to Crafting on the Plains. My name is Jacinta and this is my channel, mostly about counting cross stitch, but also where I occasionally talk about other things like knitting, quilting, sewing, whatever other crafty endeavors I happen to get up to. Today will be entirely about cross stitch because I have got a lot to share. So thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to both new and returning viewers. I really appreciate those of you that take the time to watch me. If you haven't already, please consider liking this video and subscribing. That does help me out and it also helps YouTube continue to show you my videos. So yes, I always super appreciate all my subscribers, all my viewers. So thank you. Like I said, I'm just gonna be doing cross stitch because I've got a lot. I have had a very just wild couple of weeks. I'm coming to you a week later. Normally I try to be on a very strict 2-week schedule, but for a couple reasons that just did not work out. First off, I am on spring break this week. I teach at a university. I am still working because I have other jobs that I do, so I'm still working, but I am able to work from home and have a little bit more of a flexible schedule this week. So I just figured, number one, it made more sense to film on the week that I was working from home than on a week where I'm just trying to do everything. I also, some really good things. Well, I'll tell you about the not so great thing that happened is that my office 2 weeks ago was hit by a tornado. It was pretty crazy. So it was not the town that I live in. I live about 45 minutes away from where I work, and the town where I work, where the university where I work is, was hit by a tornado. It was a fairly small tornado. I looked and I don't think there was any fatalities. There was quite a lot of damage to businesses. There was some damage to people's homes, but I think most of the damage was in like the downtown area, and it did damage the university and the building where my office is. So if you've not heard me talk about it before, I am a college professor and also an attorney, and I run a legal clinic at the university where I work, and the building where my clinic is was the most damaged by the tornado. So that was a bit of an adventure because we had to get cleared out of there, get moved into a temporary space. That building is going to be closed for at least another semester into next year. So yeah, it has been very it's been a lot to deal with. So definitely thinking about the people whose businesses and homes were damaged in that. We've also had wildfires here in Oklahoma, so it's just been weather-wise a very busy and kind of scary March so far. The good thing that happened to me is that this past weekend I went to the Stitching Bee retreat in Norman. I have never needed to go to a retreat more than this past weekend because of, again, having to move our offices and everything that went on. I definitely needed a weekend where all I had to think about was stitching. So it was amazing. I highly recommend the Stitching Bee retreats. They're going to be having some more coming up in Texas and I think one in Louisiana. So I will post, I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I just love them. So I'll put their website below in case you're interested in looking into it. This video is going to be like partial retreat retreat recap. I know not everybody is super interested in like hearing just like everything that happened at the retreat. So I'm going to sort of pepper in stuff about the retreat when/if it becomes relevant to my other crafting. But I am just going to be doing cross stitch. I have some other crafts to show y'all, but that's going to be saved for another time. I do have a giveaway that I'm going to be doing later on in the episode, so please stay tuned for that. I'm very excited. I've got some stuff to give away. And I've got a lot of haul and a lot of starts, a lot of things. So I'm going to just jump right into it. So I'm going to start with my finishes. I had a big finish. Well, the piece isn't that big, but it feels like a big finish to me at the retreat. And that is this one here. This is Portrait of a Unicorn with Flowers by Cute Patterns by Maria. And I stitched this was my New Year, New Start. I stitched this on a 32 count Georgia Peach by Under the Sea Fabrics, and I used all the called for DMC except I added beads, if you can see there. Those were supposed to be French knots. Normally I do colonial knots instead of French knots. I just like them better. But I realized that, number one, it's a unicorn, so it needs some sparkle, obviously. But secondly, I've been doing some Mill Hill kits over the last couple years, and I'm accumulating little bits of leftover beads that aren't really enough to do a whole big project with. And so I was sort of trying to think of ways to use those. And I thought this, just like adding beads into a project here and there where I only need a few, would be a great way to use up the beads. So I don't have the beads like they're written down off the top of my head right now, but if for some reason you're dying to know what these beads are, please feel free to let me know. I'm happy to provide you with the information. And then the other thing is that I added the name down here. This did not come as part of the chart. This is for my daughter. It's for her bedroom. Her name is Emmeline, and she really wanted her name, and she wanted it in cursive. She was very specific. So I found a alphabet on, I think it's pronounced Lord Lebidian. I hope I'm not saying that wrong. There's a ton of free alphabets on that site. I will link it below. And they're organized by Stitches High. And then one of my new friends at the retreat, Kim, she lent me a bit of her chart so I could chart out the name, and I was able to finish it. So this chart has a lot of backstitch, which is very common of Maria's patterns, but I love it. I love this style of chart. It does not have any blends, which I was impressed by, and I'm really impressed by the level of detail and just the shading and everything that she was able to get without using blends. You can probably hear my cat right now. But yeah, so I'm very, very excited about this. This is going to be framed super soon because my daughter is dying to get it put up in her room. So my next piece is a start and finish, and it is this one. And I definitely could have used my fabric more economically. Oops. This is a pattern by Mama Witch X Stitch, and this is Whale's Journey. And I started this last Monday, and this I started with a bunch of friends. We're actually doing a sal. It is Witch Whale Sal, witch spelled like Mama Witch. And basically I was on a Stitchy Zoom with some friends, and somebody, I think it was Karen of KBH Stitches, she was the one that was looking at the patterns originally, and then we all started looking at Mama Witch patterns, realized that she was having a sale, realized the sale was ending in like an hour, so we were all scrambling to buy patterns. And there's several of us that are stitching this. I know Jen's Fiberweb just finished hers and showed it on her Flosstube. I think Julian Stitches is stitching it. I think Erin's stitching it. I know that Fanny, who is Cross Stitch Couture on Instagram, and then she is one of the stitchers of the Soul Stitchers here on Flosstube. I will try to link everyone that I know is stitching this. And we decided to start this pattern together, and it is so beautiful. It's just so whimsical, and it's made me really, really happy. It was the perfect thing because I'd had a really stressful week. And so to be just on a Stitchy Zoom and to be like virtually shopping with my Stitchy friends from all over the place was exactly what I needed. And I didn't know that what I needed in my life was just a spontaneous new start, but it's exactly what I needed in my life was a spontaneous new start. So that is my piece. And I love it. And then I think I am going to, this is on a piece, I stitched it on with all the called for. And this is on a piece, I think it's just like a scrap of witch elt or something. I don't really know. It's a scrap, so I don't feel too terrible about using it. These patterns look large. They look large, but they're very small. I think it's because she does use fractional stitches. That's what Jen was saying. And that makes sense to me, is that she uses fractional stitches, and the way that she uses shading, it has a lot of detail for how small it is. I will say that some of the fractional stitches did not 100% make sense to me in the chart. That could have been because I was using a pattern keeper. I downloaded pattern keeper, and sometimes pattern keeper doesn't translate that well. But I kind of just looked at the the mock-up version, and made it work, and I'm happy with how it turned out. So I don't really have any complaints about it. So cute. I think I'm going to turn this into a little pillow, and I got at the retreat from my friends. I think this is from Ashlyn. Gave me some Lady Dot trims. She gave me a pom-pom trim and a chenille trim. This is Licorice and this is Thundercloud. And I think either of these would look really cute as a border. So let me know whether you think I should use the Thundercloud chenille or the Licorice pom-pom on here. Which one do you think is going to work the best? I think this is going to be a little pillow. So it was a start and a finish. My next start, this was a start I did before the retreat. This is my start for my freebie year freebies Sal. A lot of people have been stitching along. If you do it, if you're participating in their freebie Sal, which you don't have to stitch one freebie a month, you can stitch one freebie for the whole year. You can stitch however many freebies you want to do. Tag me, please tag me on Instagram. I try to follow the hashtag, but the hashtags are weird. So please tag me so I can see it. And if you're stitching freebies and you don't have Instagram, send me an email. My email's below. I'd love to see your freebies. So I am stitching this pattern, and this pattern is actually, I forgot to look it up before I told you guys, before I got on here, but this pattern is not, I don't think this person designs on a regular basis. I think that this person just put out a design. Okay, they're called Knotted Stitches. And yeah, there's not like a link to an Etsy or a Ko-Fi or anything where patterns are sold. So I think that this individual just created a pattern, just creates patterns occasionally for free. So it's just a screenshot that you can take off Instagram. But this is the, I don't know if you can see. That's what it's going to look like. And here is mine. So this was a piece that I think was designed a few years ago for when people were doing Stitch for Ukraine. And then some people have started doing that again. And I saw someone share this. I cannot remember who shared it, but I really liked it. And so I decided I would go ahead and start it. So here it is. And I am stitching it. I believe this is a 36 count fiber on a whim milk and honey. And I'm using Stitchy Stuff Summer Sky. I am doing it 2/2. I sort of wish I'd done 1/2. I think I'd just been doing a lot of 2/2, and so I didn't even think. And I grabbed 2 strands and started going. And by the time I realized it, I wasn't going to pick it out. But I like, it's very, you know, dense coverage. I don't hate it, but I think it would have been perfectly fine with 1/2. So there's my progress. I love having a monochromatic stitch going. And on this one as well, these were little French knots. The bird is holding, I think, an olive branch. And I just added some more little leftover mill hills because I'm trying to use them up and it's nice. So that was my freebie. Next is going to be another thing that I started before the retreat. This one is sort of a new start, sort of a whip. And I think that's going to be obvious when I show it to you what that means. So this is my Anniversaries of the Heart. This was one of my patterns that was pulled on my whip wheels. So here it is. And I am working on Pumpkin Farm, which is it's block 10, but it's the last block that I'm doing. I started this in 2021, and I just picked out 4 blocks to do rather than do the whole thing, and I am customizing them. So I'm stitching it on a 32 count Vintage Country Mocha, which if I was starting this now, I would do it on a 36 for sure, but I was new to stitching at that point. So here it is. The ones that I've done already is this block right here. This is my husband's block, and it is Swan Lake. This one right here is my block, and it is Moonlight Visitor. This block here is for me and my husband's wedding anniversary, and it is Farmhouse. And then this one is going to be, of course, Pumpkin Farm. And I'm doing mostly the called for. There are a few things I subbed in these other ones, like on this block here, I added in turquoise because that was our wedding color. And there's a few other times that I put in different colors just because I didn't have what was called for, but it's like mostly in the same theme. So here is my progress. I did not get very far. Honestly, I forgot that I had pulled this and I was supposed to start it, so that is part of my problem. I hope my cat is not being too obnoxious. And yeah, but I did get some, and then I went ahead and put in my daughter's initials because I feel like I'm gonna have to move some things around to get the initials properly in there. So I figured if I put them in first, then I could kind of just fill in everything else around it and make it work. So those are her initials, and I am excited to hopefully have this finished this year. I was joking at the retreat that every time I say something will be a finish, then it will not be. So, as evidenced by one of the projects you're going to see in a minute. Okay, now we're into retreat starts. This is so many new starts. This is more new starts than I've ever done in a 3-week span than my life. Okay, so this one is in a bag that I made. This is one of the things I was working on that kind of kept me from stitching. This is a bag I made, matching bags for myself, and then 2 of my friends that were going to the retreat that I was meeting up, Bree and Ashlyn, who are Red Dirt Flossworks. We met at the Stitching Bee retreat last year and immediately became super good friends. People kept asking us like, oh, when did y'all meet? And assume we'd been friends for years. And we were like, no, it was this weekend. So we planned to go together at this retreat, and I knew I wanted to make them something a little bit special, and I thought it'd be fun if we all had matching bags. So this is the Deb Strain line, Lavender and Honey. I think it's still available, but I would suggest getting on it quickly if you want it. And then this was just a bee charm scissor pull that I won in a game at the retreat. So I put it on there, of course. So there it is. And then the back is the honeycomb. And I kept this one because the zipper is not perfect. So I kept the one that was semi-defective for myself because I felt like it would not be very kind for me to give them one that was weird. So this was my planned retreat start. I bought this like a month ago, and I knew I was going to start at the retreat. And that is Cottage Garden Samplings, A Year in the Woods, Raccoon. So pretty. And I am going to be doing a little bit of a change where I'm going to put, when I showed these, I'm going to add, I think I talked about this already when I showed my haul of these a few weeks back, but I'm going to add the Choctaw name of the animals on each of the charts. So raccoon is showy, and I think I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to take out this flower and put it up and down, but I need to sort of chart it out. It's probably going to be backstitched. I don't want to put it up here because I feel like it needs this flower to kind of frame it and add some pink. But if you have a better idea on where to put the word, what I could take out, let me know, but I'm thinking it's going to be going down in here. And this, I'm using the Call for Threads. I love these patterns because they only call for 2 fancy flosses, and they give you the number of skeins, forgot the word, of floss you will need for the fancy floss depending on your stitch count. So you can buy them in the same dye lot and all that. So this is mine. I am stitching it on a 32 count. This is Live and Dye LA, pretty sure. And it's on a 32 count Lugana, and it's in the colorway Standing Stones. So it's a little bit more of a bluer green than the chart, because the chart is a little bit more of a spring green, but I thought this would still work really well. And this was the little needle minder they gave us for the retreat. So I don't have a lot done. Because this is a paper pattern, I felt like I was struggling to stitch on it, especially while chatting with people at the retreat. So this might be a solitary stitch project, but I do have the little raccoon's back and the top of its little head and one of its little ears. So very happy with that. My next retreat start was an unplanned start, and it was a kit that I bought at the retreat. So I'll show it to you. It looks like a mess. I was just stitching on this a little bit ago, so don't judge me. I threw it back in the bag. So it came, again, mess. It looked way nicer than this when I bought it. This is not indicative of the quality. So it was basically for a very, very reasonable price. We got this bag, the DMC. Here's the back of it. It's got a really, really cute little bee lining. This bag, the DMC, the fabric, and the chart. And it was available there at the retreat for a purchase. I have like floss and fluff all over the place, so sorry if I'm touching my face and my hair and everything. I'm just trying to breathe. So here is the chart. I don't know. I think this might be an exclusive for the quilting bee, or for the stitching bee for right now. I'm not really sure, but it's from Crafty Bluebonnet, and it's called Be Kind Spool. So there's the finished piece. We also got a bonus chart, which unfortunately I can't show you because there's not a mock-up picture of it. It's just in there as the chart, but it says Stitching Bee 2025. So what I'm going to do is, and we got enough fabric to do both this chart and the bonus chart. And so I'm going to do this one, and then I'm going to do the bonus chart, and then I'm going to do them as like a double-sided pillow. Thought that was perfect. So I will show you what I'm doing. And there we go. So that is my progress. This is stitching up quite fast. It's really, really fun. I want to get all of the just inner parts of the spool finished, the words and all the little honeycombs, and then I'll just do the turquoise as like zoom stitching fill-in. Be perfect. So there's that. And again, should have plenty to do the second part. I think this is stitched on, it said on here, 28 count light taupe by Zweigart. Really happy with it. This has been just sort of like easy stitching to do, which is nice. And I'm using the flush drops that my friends Ashlyn and Bree were giving out as little table gifts, or I think they give them out as gifts for everybody at the retreat. So using their cute little flush drops. And then also I had on this bag, but I broke it because I'm really smart. This really cute little zipper pull that was given out by Amy, and Amy and I have met a couple times virtually and never met in person. So I was really excited to meet her in person. She gave these out, and it had a little top, and I broke it. I think because I was trying to change, I couldn't decide what bag I wanted it on, whatever. So, but I do have jewelry pliers. So I'm going to fix it. Don't worry, Amy. I'm sorry I broke your beautiful thing. But she says that she just uses her little leftovers and puts them on these tiny little spools and then makes them into little scissor, just like whatever. And I thought, what a brilliant idea. So, because it's so pretty. So that's a great way to use if you just have a tiny little amount of a leftover floss. Put it on a little deal. So that was so cute. So I'm going to fix it and it's going to go on this bag. That's going to happen today. Okay, I had one whip, and this was a whip that was called on my whip wheel, and that is right here. It is, I'll put a picture on screen because I have a digital version. White Winter Moth by Kathy Barrick. And so here we are. This one is the one I told you, oh, I'll get a finish on it by next time. I feel like, I was telling people, I feel like I need that narrator that's like, and she in fact did not finish it by next time. That is my famous last words. So just know that I'm probably cursing myself or lying or something when I say I needed to finish. But it's because I severely underestimated how much I had left. I was at 80% and I got to 90%. So I'm happy with that. And then I thought, oh, I'll take it to the retreat and I'll finish at the retreat. And then I realized I still had like 900 more stitches or 800 more stitches. I don't know. And yeah, I'm not going to do that. So here it is. I finished this motif. I had that motif started. I did this motif up here. I added in some of the smaller ones just around, and then I started this one down here. I started the bird. I did the bird, and then I started this motif. So I just have a couple more motifs to do. I think the next time this gets called the whip wheel, maybe that'll be when it gets done. Maybe. I'm not promising anything because then I won't do it. But I'm very happy with this. This is beautiful. This is stitched with a call for DMC. Kathy always provides a DMC conversion and it is always gorgeous. And it's stitched on a 36 count Saltbush by Fox and Rabbit. And I'm so happy with how it's looking. It's just gorgeous. I want it done so it can be next to this moth. I want this wall that I'm in front of, that I film in front of, to be a moth wall. People ask me a lot what this is. This is HL's Moth by Kathy Barrick. But I want to have a moth wall. And this will be one of the pieces. Okay, so I almost forgot to do my whip wheel spins. And then also I realized after I did my whip wheel spins that I had not actually been recording at all. So you're just gonna have to trust me that I did my whip wheel spins, and what it landed on for my focus whips was Wind, Moon, Fairy, and then my normal whip wheel was Spring, Moon. So I'm gonna show you guys those now. Apologize for not doing it on camera, but I did try. I just couldn't get it together apparently. So here is Wind, Moon, Fairy. This is where I am at, and it's gonna be much larger, obviously. I'll actually show you the cover image. Well, yeah, I'll show you the cover image. Here is the cover image of Wind, Moon, Fairy. And then this is where I am. So I would like to kind of continue working down maybe in this section, this area, get down to the corner maybe would be nice. And then, yeah, so we will see where I get to on that. This is a dimensions kit, by the way, in case that was not clear. And then Spring Moon is a pattern by Plum Street. This was my New Year, New Start last year, 2024, and it's still not done. But here we are, Spring Moon by Plum Street. And as always, I will do all the details when I actually have it as a whip to show you my progress, but this is just sort of a check-in on where it is. So here it is. This is where I am. I have no idea. I don't know. I'm going to see what I feel like. I probably should do some of this down here, but I kind of like to alternate between the flower fun part and then the more like other part, but we'll see how it goes. So that is my Spring Moon. I am excited to see where I get to on both of these projects over the next couple weeks. Okay, so now I'm going to talk retreat stuff haul. I have other haul because I may have made some market purchases and a few other little purchases, but I am only doing retreat haul today, which will be a mix of like Stitchy kindness gifts, things like that people gave me at the retreat. Sorry, which probably drives people crazy that I mess with my hair, but I have if you had as much hair as I did, you might mess with it too. I'm just going to do stuff I got at the retreat, either as gifts or as purchases. And then I will do my market haul. I only bought a couple things for market, but I'm going to do other haul when it comes in, when it all gets here on a later date. So where do I begin? I'm actually going to begin with my giveaway, because that way, if you are someone who does not like to be enabled by Stitchy haul, you can do the giveaway, because I don't always watch everyone's haul, because sometimes I need to not be trying to spend all my money. So anyway, at the retreat, they had some charts for sale. Very, very good prices on some charts there. And you could win in some of the games. You could win basically what they call B-Bucks, which were little like vouchers. And I won some B-Bucks, and I decided I did buy a couple charts for myself, but then I thought, okay, I'm going to use most of my B-Bucks and buy some charts for giveaways for you guys, because this is a perfect opportunity to pick up some things to say thank you to you folks who watch me and subscribe. So the first one that I got, I'm not going to show you guys all of the future giveaways right now. I'm just going to show you this one, and then the other ones I'll probably maybe do like one a month here until I run out of the charts that I purchased. But this one that I got, I'm actually going to take it out so that you can see, is the first one I wanted to give away, is because it's seasonal, is Rascals by Pedal Pusher. And I really like Pedal Pusher. And so this is it. It's really cute little, it's like all of these I kind of want to stitch myself, but I'm refraining because I'm giving them to you guys. So, they're so cute. They're little different color carrots and little bunnies that are eating up the little carrots. So adorable. So this one is the giveaway for today. I am willing to ship this anywhere in the world. I've heard some people saying on Flosstube that they have concerns about shipping things to other countries from the US. I don't know anything about that. So if you're willing to take the risk, I'm willing to take the risk. Okay. If you enter it and you win, I will ship it to you. I obviously make no guarantees that anything gets to anybody, even inside the US. Sometimes things happen with packages, but I am willing to ship this wherever. So if you want to win this, first off, don't say the word win, giveaway, free, prize, all that stuff, be over the age of 18 so you can give me your address, and please be a subscriber, because I want to thank my subscribers. And if you could just use the word bunny in a comment, then I will know you want to enter in the next video, which should be in 2 weeks-ish time. I will draw and announce the winner. So, very cute. Okay, so that was the giveaway. I'm going to show y'all what I bought and what I was given. I've showed you some of what I was given and some of what I've bought already. I picked up a couple charts. Yeah, I'll show charts. So like I said, there were some really good charts for sale. So I'm going to show you the ones that I picked up for myself. And then, like I said, there's some others that are eventually going to be given away. So one that I got that I'm really excited about is Plum Street, My Garden House. And it's a drum. I love drums. I want to do all the drums. And so I'm very happy with it. This is what it looks like. I don't think it's a problem if I show you the back. This is what it looks like flat. And I have heard, someone was telling me that they've seen people stitch it flat. I think it was Mary she runs the kind of like sale booth. And it looks really cute stitched flat and finished flat, but I am pretty sure I'm going to do a drum. Because I love drums. So I got that one. I then picked up a couple more. This is chaos all around me. I picked up this book from Blackbird, Honeysuckle Manor. And this has got a lot of really, really beautiful patterns. It's a lot of small ones. There's some samplers, but a lot of them are smaller. I think these are the main samplers that are in here. And yeah, so, but there's a lot of smalls too, and they're really, really beautiful. I love these Blackbird books. This is my second one, and I'm planning on collecting several of them. They are at a little bit of a higher price point. Makes sense because of how many charts you get, but because of that, I try to pick them up when there's a sale or when I have a good deal on them or something like that. So, and then the last chart I got that's for myself is this one, which is Miss Moonmoth. And this is from Nora Corbett. I just saw, well, it was maybe a few episodes back, Stitchy Mama. She finished this one and it was gorgeous. And I loved it. You guys know I love moths. I was just talking about it. So I needed her. And she's so beautiful. I think I just dropped something. I don't know. But yeah, so there she is. Very excited about that. Okay. I'm looking over here at my gigantic stack. I'm going to do fabric now. I took a second to pause and do a little bit of organization so that I did not have all these piles just avalanche on me. So my fabric. This is a 36 count cobblestone by Atomic Ranch. It's right here. It is beautiful. It's like a blue, little bit of brown type of color. Love it. I thought it was like kind of stormy sky. I thought it would look good with Halloween, but also I could do something that was like a sky or I don't know, something. So felt like that was really good. And I got a fat quarter of that. Perfect for stash. I will say, if you go to a Stitching Bee, Mary is the amazing lady who runs the kind of like booth that sells the fabric and the notions and stuff like that. And she is the queen of fabric selection. If you have a pattern and you're not sure what fabric to get, she can help you. If you are like, this is what I kind of like, these are the types of thing I stitch, I just want to get something for stash, she can help you. If you're ever unsure about what's fabric, she is the queen of fabric selection. So yes, and I just kind of told her, I was like, I'm looking for something that I can sort of just stash, like versatile, but is a little bit different, you know, not just like your average sampler kind of beige. And so this is perfect. I think a Mira would look great on this, or like a Nora. I think I could do a Cute Patterns by Maria. I could also do a Halloween piece. I could do all kinds of things. So very excited. Okay. And then I also, as part of the Stitching Bee, they gave us some stuff. They gave us some silks, and we got some Karen Water Lilies just in our little welcome pack. These are the colors I got. So I got, this color is Sunset, which is beautiful. It's not showing up properly at all. There we go. slightly better. Yeah. And then this one is Primrose. These are so shiny that they're reflecting the light and don't want to show up on camera. But there it is. So, and then I was looking at fabric, and I have never stitched on 40 count. But after I had eye surgery in November. It was a whole thing. If you haven't been with me that long, if you watch my videos from this fall, I kind of explain it. But turns out I had congenital cataracts, had to have eye surgery. And I had never stitched on 40 count because I could always see 32 count or up to 36 count without magnification. So I felt like, okay, that's where I'm fine. I'm happy with that. Now I have to wear reading glasses to stitch on pretty much everything, at least to stitch quickly and comfortably. So at this point I thought, okay, if I'm already having to magnify my stitching in order to do it, I might as well go ahead and try 40. So I was debating. I really did not want to buy a big fat quarter of a 40 count in case I just didn't like it for some reason. So I was there, I was chatting with my friends, I was chatting with the people that do the retreat, and I was like, I think I'm just gonna like order off 1 2 3 Stitch like a little small cut of 40 and do a little project on it. And Mary gave me, out of her own little quirky Quaker stash, a little tiny scrap of 40 count. And I think I've decided there is a pattern. It's an Easter pattern by, I'm going to say the name of it wrong, but I found an Easter pattern that I want to do with these. And I think it's going to be so cute. And I have no idea what this fabric is, but I'm so excited to try 40. And then I'll probably come back to the Stitching Bee next year and buy like tons of 40, because I can already tell the stitches are going to be so tiny and adorable. And I like to stitch small because then I have more, I can stitch more on it, but we'll just have to see. So really excited about that. They also had given some scissors. I got a pair of scissors and a new scissor fob from Ashlyn and Bree, and I think I took it in the other room to stitch with and then misplaced it, which is what I've been doing with all my scissors. So I got this little cute pair of scissors, and this was a scissor fob that I made as this was my table gift for the retreat, were these. So I just made them out of some beads that I got from Joann's. Sad day. And then in order to make sure it could accommodate pretty much any size of scissors, I used earring backs. These kind of like lever back ear wires. So this is what I use instead of a lobster clasp, and it's very secure, and it does have a little cute decorative front, little shell front. But these are very, very big. So even if you have scissors that are a little bit thicker, I wanted to make sure that they fit on everyone's scissors, if, you know, people wanted to use it. So that's what I gave out as my little table gift. Oh, the light. So. And then I got a couple other things. So like I said, my friend Kim that lent me her piece of her chart, she was giving out these super pretty, she said it's a salt cellar. So it's a little salt cellar, and then she makes it into a little pin cushion, and then she made this counting pin, which I've always wanted a counting pin. So now I have one. I'm really happy about that. And she gave us some other pins. And then this is a snag nabbit. I'd heard of these and I'd always want to try it, but it's a little tool. I got that from my friend Judy, Miss Judy, and she, my new friend Miss Judy, and she, said you basically just, it has this little rough end, spirally end, and you poke it through your stitches when you have a stitch that's not really laying properly, and then when you kind of like pull it through, it sort of evens out your stitch and helps your stitches lay prettier and nicer. So very happy. I've already used it and it's great. And then I did purchase, I got this little bag charm from Ashlyn and Brie. This is 2025. And I also had to make a purchase from Renee of the Golden Familiars. She had a booth last year. That's where I met her, and I love her stuff. She does really cool project bags that are a little bit like fantasy, whimsy, stuff like that. That's all of her sort of theme. And she also has scissors, needle minders that are all kind of that theme. So I picked up this. It says, "I'm not like other girls, I'm worse." She also had one that I really wanted to buy. I had let my daughter pick between this one and one that said, like, "In a world full of princesses, be a witch," or something like that. Like, why be a princess when you can be a witch? Something like that. And I could not decide between them, and I told my daughter, okay, pick which one. And so she picked this one. But I love it. So had to get something from there. I will link her. She had a Flosstube. I don't know if she's posted recently, but I'll try to link her shop because she's got really cute stuff. And she will do custom bags and folios and bobbin. I don't know what she calls them, but it's basically like a sleeve that you can put a bunch of bobbins in. So does a great job. Okay, and then finally, this was something that my friend Ashlyn was gonna put on the past the sash table, but she asked me before she put it on the table if she wanted it, and I said yes. And it is a universal craft stand. So I haven't tried it out. It's still in the box, but I'm gonna be putting it together maybe this weekend and seeing. I think this would be really great for my scroll frame because I have had a wee bit of a struggle holding my scroll. It's fine, but I feel like my hand and my arms get a little bit tired if I hold it for too long. So I'm excited to see how this goes. But that is everything. I have one more piece of Stitchy kindness / kind of haul, whatever, to show, and I did not leave this out because I did not remember it or because I do not love it. I left it out because I hid it from my child. So this is what I got in my smalls exchange at the retreat. So we did a smalls exchange. I showed y'all last time the little book I brought. So this is what I won in the game, and it is from a stitcher. Her name is Olivia, and she stitched this super cute scarecrow. And I love fall. I love pumpkins. I love ravens and crows and everything. So look at all that backstitch too. So I love this, but my daughter saw it and she loved it too. And she was immediately like, "Can we put that in my room?" And she tried to take it. Like, she tried to take the whole bag and like cart it away. So I told her no, I needed to share it on my Flosstube before we found a place for it. So I put it in the bag, and then I kind of stuck it like behind my my nightstand where I keep my stitching, thinking that she wouldn't get into it. And then when I was gathering everything up, I did not grab it from behind there because I hid it so well. I hid it from my own self. So it was stitched on 14 count Aida, and I think it looks like it was done with the DMC floss. So love it. So cute. So now I can display it. But yeah, I did not want I was really scared because she kept trying to grab it, and I was like, what if your hands are dirty? So I hid it for myself as well as her. Okay, that's all my my Stitchy kindness and stuff. Like I said, I do have some other crafting. Oh, no. I also picked up a little bit of quilting fabric, but it's going to become a bag. So we drove down to Prairie Man Primitives, which is in Wayne, Oklahoma. And they are a quilt shop that has started carrying cross-stitch stuff like a year or two ago. And they host a lot of like Stitchy weekends and crafting weekends and things like that. And they also have a retreat center that they have kind of built, and they're building more, like renovating some stuff to have more space for private retreats and stuff like that. So we wanted to check it out because we were not terribly far from there. I think we're like 40 minutes away from Wayne in Norman. And so we went down, and I didn't get any cross stitch, but I did get 2 quilting fabrics that I am going to turn into a project bag. And that is these ones. These are from the Hey Boo line, and they're so pretty. And their cross stitch selection was good. It was, I mean, they're a quilting and a cross stitch store, so it doesn't have like the biggest cross stitch selection, but they have quite a bit of a variety. Some really cute stuff. And their quilting fabrics, their quilting selection is incredible. And they also have like felt applique, needle felting, a lot of different crafts. And they have little weekends where it's not just stitching. You can bring any type of craft that you want to. And if you're interested in like learning a type of craft, you can bring it. And there's going to be probably someone who's there who can give you some tips and stuff like that. So yeah, really fun. I'm hoping I can make it down. That store is like a little over an hour from me. It's actually not that far distance wise, like as the crow flies, but there's no like direct highway from where I live to where they are. So it's just a little bit difficult for me to make it down there. But anyway, pick those up, and those are going to be another little fall theme project bag. So that is all that I have. I will share my other types of crafts as well as the rest of my haul that's like non-retreat haul in my next update. Yeah, so that is it. If you have stuck around this long, I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for visiting with me and checking me out. Remember to enter the giveaway if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next couple weeks. I hope you get lots of crafting time.